Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dave here with Go Gamers, and today we're going to be taking a look at this PlayStation 4 Pro game console that's having a power supply port issue where the jack was actually removed from the motherboard. So let's go over to the upper cam and see how we can be able to get this fixed. Now I'm going to show you guys an easy way to repair this. Now, this doesn't work for every single situation, so I don't want you guys to be like, oh, it didn't work for my situation. A lot of times these pads sometimes just get fully removed to where you'll actually have to do the pin out. You'll have to pull out the copper wire and retrace everything, which sucks. I've had to do it. That's typically what I have to do, but I got lucky with this one. This one, we still, as you can see, have 2 out of the 4 pads that have a little bit of solder on it, and we have these 2 legs right here where we could be able to create some copper and get some solder on those pads. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So I'm getting my solder, making sure my solder iron is turned on. So quick and easy way. So I'm going to take my small flathead screwdriver like this, and we're going to scratch at the top. Typically, I would use my microscope for something like this, but I don't think that this situation really calls for a microscope since we don't have to do a pin out. So kind of just scratch very lightly. You scratch too hard, you will obviously tear it up to the point where you will have to do the pin out. So I'm scratching. There's also these little brushes you could get. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but there's little brushes where you could be able to get copper exposed as well. I used a brush before. To be quite honest, I didn't care for it, so I just didn't get it again. I'll make sure that's exposed a little bit too. So we're just going to all 4 pads and we're just scraping, and we're making sure we stay within that pad as well. We don't want to scrape and end up getting into another pad to where you'll have cross solder and it won't work. So I think this might be good enough. Let me take my toothbrush, kind of just move some of this debris out the way. Just slightly just brush it. Don't need to go too crazy. As you can see, we now have copper exposed for all 4 pads. So now what I'm going to do is take my no clean flux. This is 8341 flux. You could get this off of Amazon. Just going to take some of this, apply it straight to the header. Now I'm going to take some regular solder, and I'll show you what I'm using right here. Just some solder, and we are going to now go through and solder it. So I'm going to turn on my fume extractor, and now let's just go through each pin and slowly solder it. All right, so that wasn't too difficult. As you can see, I'm gonna be honest, it's typically not this easy. If all these pads are completely missing, then you guys will actually have to do the pin out. If I ever come across that, I will upload it. Typically I don't, because a lot of times I just be in a rush because I get so many game consoles to repair. So a lot of times I'm just like, I don't feel like making a video just because I got so many consoles to work on, and I don't want to delay it because it takes time to record, go through scenes, getting the setup. But next time, if I ever experience that issue, I will let you guys see. So hopefully you guys can get a good look at it. I have fresh solder on every single pad. And what I'm gonna do is, let me move the camera over so you guys can see. I'm gonna actually, let me move it up here. Alright, so as you can see, these two pins right here have the copper pads from the power supply header on it. We want to take that off because we don't want that on there when we solder it back on, because then it just won't work. So let's get that taken off. So I'm holding it down with my tweezers, and I'm just gonna heat it off. Just slide, and that's it. And I'm just gonna hit the other ones, make sure they're clean. So we are good. As you can see, I know I kind of went off camera just a little bit. All I did was I went through, I scraped them off, and I still got a little bit of solder, not a lot, but enough to at least tin the pins on here, because you want to at least have the pins tinned, so once you get it soldered back down to the motherboard, it'll be easier to connect. So we have fresh solder on the board. I slid the copper pieces off the port, and also on top of that, I went on ahead and tinned the copper pads. All right, so now I'm gonna take our no cleat flux, place a little bit of flux across the header. Take our tweezers, and we're going to place our port right over the new solder points. I decided to switch over to my microscope just to make sure I can solder every single pin down correctly. You guys more than likely won't need a microscope, but it's kind of hard working with the camera right in front of you, so I decided just to swap over so I won't have the camera right in my face. So as you can see now, I solder down each leg to the header. And trust me, it doesn't need to look pretty as long as it's intact. Alright, so we have every single pin soldered down. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a toothbrush. We're going to slightly just brush around it. I'm going to dip the toothbrush in some IPA. I got 99% IPA next to me. And if you don't have it, as long as you just have Windex or whatever you have to clean, I use 99% IPA. So just going to take this toothbrush. Now we're going to take a Q-tip and we are going to just touch up around it. All right, so we have the PS4 hooked up. I want to also warn you guys too, when you put the plug back in there, when you put the cord back into the port, make sure you don't press down on it super hard, just slightly put it in there. And once it's in there, you don't want to take that cord back out. So if you're going to do the glue gun, after that, just do it. Just don't take the ribbon cable out. Just slowly lift up the power supply, disconnect the ribbon from the power supply, and I'll end up just showing you guys anyways, just to make sure you guys don't destroy it again. Then you'll end up definitely probably having to do the pin out. So I'm gonna turn it on now. Just actually spilled some stuff over here, but I'm gonna turn it on now and see what we could get. Okay, so it's turned on. It definitely wasn't doing that before. And screen just went black, which means it's detecting video. So let's see what we could get after this. All right, and I do have the HDD unplugged, so this is what we get. But as you can see, you can also see down here, here is the console, fan is spinning. The console is working just fine now. So I'll go ahead and I'll just show you guys how to do the glue gun deal right now, just to make sure you guys don't destroy it. So I'll just add on this little brief part for you guys real fast, and we can go ahead and get this knocked out. So I actually got to go get my glue gun, so I'll be right back. All right, now let's just go ahead and place the glue around it. All right, so I got the hot glue in place, and I'm kind of just cleaning around it with this towel. As you can see, I loaded up on it heavy because now I know it works. I know that it's in the proper place. So I wanted to make sure everything is good on it. So that is how you can be able to fix this issue within 5 to 10 minutes. I see it all the time where people go inside of these game consoles and they just rip that completely off there. I'm starting to see this more lately now that a lot of people are trying to get into repairing their own electronics. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you are a fan of watching repair videos like this. But besides that, you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See ya.